Alright, so I'm out here March 1st. Late start, probably like 9 a.m. and I'm launching from King Harbor. And there is no one out here. There's no one out here. I mean, literally, this is the only day that I can kind of fish because we got bracketed by bad weather, so it's going to be raining tomorrow. So this is my only opportunity for the next week or so. So I'm just kind of hoping that, you know, I can get on some fish. So the whole reason we're out here is to check out the deeper depths, like 450 feet, and see what we can find. So here out of Redondo Beach, I mean, because we have this huge underwater canyon, deep water, you know, finding 400 feet isn't going to be very hard. I imagine I can find it within probably about a mile. Okay, so if you look on the map, see the dark areas, that means that's an area where the contour lines are stacked really tight together, which means that there's either a steep incline or decline. So as you might imagine, this area here and this area here mark the edges of the canyon wall. So in between them is probably real deep. So we will see. So this woman right here on her paddleboard is really the only person I'm seeing. Wind blowing out of the southwest, probably at about 5 to 7. So I'm only about 100 yards out of the mouth of the harbor, and we're seeing marks at 80 feet. But you know, I would imagine if I drop down here, I'm probably going to get bit. But you know, this isn't what we're looking to learn about today. So here we got a big bait ball. You know, maybe sardines, maybe mackerel. On another trip, we will pin one of these big baits and send it down deep as well. But just can't do everything today. Just trying to do too much solo. So this is the bait that we're going to be starting with. It's a 10-ounce jig. It comes with the assist hook, standard, but I've added a treble hook just because I can't afford to experiment too much at 400 feet. So I'm just going to throw everything on there. Treble hook tipped with some squid, and we'll see what happens. Now we're descending into some deeper water. We're at 291 here. I got my fish finder bottom locked so that it only picks up the first 70 feet off the floor. So this is probably where the deep portion of the canyon starts. Okay, so we're at 327, and this is the first real mark that I'm seeing. It's some kind of a hump, I'm assuming. It's the first real mark I've seen. So if this stays on the screen for a good amount of time, and it's not, then I'd be tempted to drop down somewhere around here. Okay, so now we're coming up on about 400 feet, not really seeing anything. So you can tell this is all like new uncharted territory for me. So where you see the green, those are all tracks that I've laid down before. So I've covered the left side of the canyon here, but I've never really gone into the valley itself. So yeah, so brand new territory. Alright, so here we're coming up on 500 feet. Not seeing much, but at this point, again, when you have to send a signal and bounce it back from 500 feet, then I guess one of my concerns is, I mean, how accurate is it going to be? Okay, just for grins, I tried a drop at around 540 with no bait, no jig, just a weight. I just wanted to see. The verdict is it takes a long time for the jig to descend, obviously. And bringing that thing back up, you know, considering that for deeper water you have to use heavier stuff, it is a chore. It's a real bear. And I don't think, I mean, it's especially a chore if you don't have level wind. and a high-speed reel. So, I mean, if your goal is to consistently fish these deeper waters, you know, I'd probably have to recommend level wind and a high-speed reel. So here we're coming up on about 600 feet, and finally I'm seeing something down there. Now, if I were to see this kind of structure at 384 and not 584, I would be tempted to drop down. But this is the first, you know, like decent piece of structure I've seen. And it looks like it is pretty expansive, right? So, you know, it's on the screen for a good 10-15 seconds. But obviously 560 is beyond the regulations, and I don't even know if it's practical, right? So when you don't have your legs to help you out, and you can't rest your rod on the rail, you know, how many times can you drop down? I should point out though, so one of the big benefits of having a bait casting reel is, as you're winding up, you can rest it on your knee like this and just grind, right? If you have, especially if you have level wind. If you have a spin outfit, then you really can't rest the rod on your knee. You kind of have to do something like this. So for deep water, a casting outfit probably saves you a good amount of energy. Okay, so this is kind of interesting. I'm climbing out of like 560, and now we're at 450, and look at the, whatever that is, right? It's taller than 70 feet because I have the bottom lock to 70 feet. So I'm tempted to try a drop here, right? So I'm within limits 420, and there's something down there. And so I guess, you know, with a sigh, I guess I'll try. Look at this. This is a Burley high capacity reel, and it's eaten up just about the entire spool. And on top of that, I'm not getting bumped. Okay, so essentially what I'm doing is, I have an imaginary line here. And I know everything here is deep. Everything here, all the green trails, is all water that I've scouted. That's all, 99% of it is 250 and below. So I've scouted a lot of water, and I'm just gonna follow like 380, 400 and see what I find. But really, I mean, nothing so far. So I hate to say it, but that's about as exciting as this trip got. You know, there just wasn't much happening at those depths. I spent a lot of time paddling, probably put in, you know, close to like 14, 15 miles all told. I didn't take enough food with me to power me for that kind of effort. So I didn't have the energy to even record the footage where I picked up some rockfish at shallower depths. The fishing was kind of slow. I think the water temperature, you know, is kind of putting the kibosh on the bite. But anyways, I learned some things, and I'm hoping that you learned some things as well vicariously. Learning isn't always exciting, but you know, it is what it is. Anyways, get out there, have fun, be safe, and we will see you on the next outing. Bye for now.